Moving on then, at a time when India ranks quite low in the air quality index, it would be interesting to talk to a company that really operates in the same space, analyzing the air quality, especially at a time of Diwali when there's firecrackers galore. Joining in right now is Akshay Joshi. He's the founder and CEO at Ambee. Akshay, thank you so much for being with us. So you operate in a very interesting space. You're analyzing air quality data. What infrastructure was needed to put this into place, especially at a time for Diwali, in order to track this?
Thanks for having me. This Diwali, we plan to stay safe. We're analyzing data across India, and some signs are encouraging. People are beginning to take more notice, more action. Unfortunately, a lot of the pollution that you see is cyclical factors which are out of the control of individuals, so to say.
So could you elaborate on the scale and the scope of tracking data over the next few days?
Right. So we have a bunch of sensors live right now in Bangalore. So we have about 100. We're putting up 500 across India. We did experiments in Bombay. We did experiments in Delhi. We did experiments in Hyderabad. So our sensor network will be going pan-India shortly. We're in the process of testing and calibration for our data across India. We plan to have this data streaming live every couple of seconds to every 10 seconds, depending on what we deem necessary. And this is sort of accessible to everyone on a basic level through a bunch of websites.
Now, Akshay, every Diwali we have massive campaigns around fireworks, but it's also the season of crop burning, and that impacts pollution levels, particularly in cities like the Delhi NCR region and beyond. So can you tell us about the impact of that on the environment?
Right. So it's very interesting. We saw Bangalore last year. A lot of places inside Bangalore were on a daily mean, or rather a nightly mean of over 400 micrograms per cubic meter. That's particulate matter 2.5, PM 2.5, which is the headline pollutant. Bangalore is normally below 100 or possibly below 50 or 20 if it's raining. So there was a definite correlation between Diwali and firecrackers because these were populated areas as well. So you'll see a lot of apartment buildings. So the density of people living there, as well as a result, the density of people bursting crackers was higher. There are a lot of things, like you said, crop burning is a major thing. Geography itself, so Delhi is surrounded by hills on some sides. For example, a Bangalore or Chennai would not have similar issues. There isn't that much crop burning in the south. So these things are beyond the control of people who live in Delhi. So it would not be fair to blame individuals for this sort of pollution.
Share some insights, Akshay, on what kind of data so far you've collected. What is it indicating in terms of the most polluted cities, and what are the trends that you're picking up?
So we noticed that pollution for a city that doesn't have crop burning around it, say a Bangalore, would be localized to a large extent, because take the example of Bangalore. There isn't a lot of engineering industry in Bangalore. So there are two industrial areas in Bangalore. Pollution tends to be higher around them. My co-founder used to live near one of them, which is how this whole company started. We've seen that obviously when it rains, pollution goes very low. There are parts of Bangalore, even when it doesn't rain, which are relatively clean. I would put them on a similar level as some European cities. Similar trends exist for Bombay, for Chennai, but these vary dramatically. So for example, in Bombay, I think we saw in January, Bombay was actually worse off than Delhi for a few days. This is not something that's immediately believable to someone who lives in Bombay, because they're under the impression that with the sea near them and the breeze continuously flowing in and out, the air is very clean.
Now, while you talk about having data systems in place and strong data across cities, what about the solution? Do you have some, offerings bundle that can sort of measure the impact?
Yeah. So if you look historically at how pollution has affected cities around the world, in the 60s, California was the dirtiest state in the American Union. It was the 70s in New York. London had fogs so thick they were called pea soup in the 50s. It was only data and awareness that drove massive changes. You can't stick an air filter in public very easily. You can't do anything except create awareness, create data to back up that awareness, and then people start to take action. Take Beijing, for example. 2011, Beijing was possibly the most polluted city in the world. Last month, it dropped out of the top 200 most polluted cities in the world. There was a concerted effort led by the people, led by the government. Data was freely available. People made a choice. So we hope that with our data being given to individuals for free, we give it for free, by the way, we are willing to work with governments. We already work with some governments. We're willing to work with whoever wants our help. And this can drive a sea change because this is a matter of public and human health, and that's not going to wait for a decision from human beings.
Let's hope that we manage to maintain some sane levels of air pollution. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much. Happy Diwali.